I'm not gonna sugarcoat this one. Game Changers might be one of the most hated seasons of Survivor of all time. And with that, so many people consider this to be the worst returning player season ever. It is understood in the community that this season gets a pretty bad rep for so many things just not working out. People like to complain about the boot order, the hard to understand edit, how dark the season gets at points, and of course, advantage get in. We are gonna get into all the ugly parts of Survivor Game Changers in this video, but we're also gonna do so much more than that. I hope you are sitting down and are ready to hear for what I'm about to say. I am a Survivor Game Changers super fan.
The gameplay has become so unpredictable that getting to the end now demands the willingness to risk it all.
At the time of this season's release, Survivor was coming off of the introduction of the modern era with Millennials vs Gen X, and the stars perfectly aligned that season. It was a huge success, but fan reception would not consider 99% of the rest of the modern era as being at the same high standard, and that would of course begin right here in today's video with Survivor Game Changers. So today's video has more responsibility placed on its shoulders than our typical Survivor Retrospective video, as my goal today is to shift your opinion on this season to not only see it as acceptable and satisfactory, but to hopefully convince you that this season should be viewed as one of the greats.
Handpicked because you share one thing in common. You have proven you are willing to make the kind of moves that will change the game.
People always love to make the case that every season of Survivor is just like pizza because, you know, even when it's bad, it's still good. I'm gonna push that even more in today's video, as I believe the pizza comparison is starting to feel a little stale. I googled what the most important thing in life is, and to my surprise, Survivor did not come up first. But the first pop-up was family, and that is basically the exact same thing. Survivor is just like family. You may not see eye to eye all the time, but at the end of the day, you will always be there for each other. So if nothing else is achieved throughout this journey, try to give Survivor Game Changers another chance.
You need to grab your torch. Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Survivor Retrospective. If you want to see more content just like this, I recommend checking out my other videos, as I've been making daily videos on every season. I know I say this for every single video, but if there's any time where it's important to look back at the beginning, is this season right here with Survivor Game Changers, as it really brings so many different things together. So if you like your stories complete, I'll have a link down in the description containing every single one of these videos. But hey, let's get into it.
I'm so excited. I can't stop like bouncing in my seat.
There is a lot, and I mean a lot, to unpack this season, as it's all about changing the game, but that should be obvious right out of the gate for a season known as Game Changers. A big thing that doesn't get talked about enough when bringing this season up is that it really isn't just another season of Survivor. I guess we say that about any of the returning player seasons, but for the most part, those seasons feel justified and happen at the right time. Survivor All-Stars, Heroes vs Villains, Second Chance, and Winners at War all do a good job making some thematic sense, as they are all separated roughly by 10 seasons. That's not the case here with Survivor Game Changers, as it comes up really close after Survivor Second Chances, and we don't really get to come down from the high of that season before discussions of this season start to pop up. From the producer's standpoint, it makes sense for this to be an all-star season, as it's the 500th celebration episode of Survivor, and they do an amazing job of making this feel special before the season airs, with past players marketing the season on social media with saying thank you to Survivor and explaining their favorite moments. But from a narrative standpoint, I think the reason this season gets a bad rep was Cambodia was seen in such high regard from a strategic standpoint that the producers wanted to recreate that magic here, even though the season would be played much differently than Cambodia. We will touch on the specific negatives a little later, but one of the main criticisms that faces this season is how much production goes out of their way to make this season feel different. The idea is to keep the players on their toes, but from a game perspective, they take it a little too far. The simplified tiebreaker will be introduced this season and ultimately get reverted the very next season, as it actually prevented tiebreakers from occurring. Other new and old ideas will be shown here, with the legacy advantage, joint tribal councils, tribe expansions, tribe swaps, advantage menus, vote steals, and of course, the reformatted final tribal council. A lot of these additions are controversial and brings up the discussion of whether or not it is fair to the players.
Hope it's okay if I join you.
Cochran? Oh my god.
Survivor has often been compared to professional sports, and many fans of the show have even declared Survivor as being their favorite sport. In a lot of ways, the superfan community has transformed Survivor into the same viewing experience that any other professional sport would have. Survivor fans are known for taking part in fantasy drafts at the start of the season, much like NFL fans do at the start of every football season. Also, on special occasions, Survivor fans have been known to rent out bars and sit down with other fans of the show and watch on the big screen as they enjoy dinner and some drinks. The issue with this is, at the end of the day, Survivor isn't a sport. I can tell you exactly what Survivor is. It is my favorite TV show, and if you are watching this video as well, you probably view it as your favorite TV show as well. There's a big difference between an entertaining TV show and the NBA, MLB, NHL, and the NFL. I get it, the show has become such a big part of so many people's lives that we sometimes like to think of it as a sport, and we'll forget that it is a reality show first. Sports and reality shows are both entertaining, but have some pretty big differences. Take any of your favorite sports. The rules of the game are completely defined by the game itself, and are fixed on that specific game. It wouldn't make any sense to score a touchdown when playing hockey, because that's not what you do when you play hockey. Reality TV has the goal of being entertaining television and keeping a fan base always coming back for more. If every season of Survivor was played out exactly like Borneo, Survivor would have gone extinct a long time ago. And so, the things that production adds to this season might not be fair, but I think it's a necessary evil that keeps Survivor so unpredictable. And even if some of the twists are a little extreme, it creates so many amazing TV moments.
So tonight, as one group, where you will vote out one person.
The main issue people have with this season is how the twists that are introduced into the game make it unfair to the players, and I will fully agree that they do. What I'm trying to get at is, I'm not sure that it matters, as it produces so many interesting moments. Is the merge feast dilemma fair? Of course not, but it adds interesting moments with Brad. Do we like Malcolm going home on day 11, or Advantage Geddon sending Cirie home? No, but again, fantastic television. However, there are two major negatives with this season that you just can't ignore, and it comes down to how the season takes a couple of really dark turns. I mean, guys, you all know what I'm about to say. Jeff Barner was completely in the wrong in outing Zeke, and is one of the worst moments in Survivor history. And how it plays out in the reunion with Jeff promoting his book, it just comes off so awful. How do we let a Survivor player get 3 chances to play the game and never make the jury? Really, the only good thing to come from this is how every single person on the tribe comes to the defense of Zeke and cares for him. And a little later in the season, we get some rough moments as well with how Culpepper ends up treating some of the other players on the cast. These two moments, and especially the Zeke moment, are really tough to watch, and is the main argument I have against this season.
And
I don't treat people that way.
okay, can I talk?
Yes, I don't want you to paint me as something I'm not.
Why don't you go ahead?
That is an ironic statement.
I want to jump back into the fun moments of this season, and really why I love this season so much is it had so many of those big moments and characters that we get throughout this 39-day adventure. It needs to be at least touched on this season, how Tony goes out in a blaze of glory having so much fun. We get the next advancement in spy technology with Tony's underground bunker, in combination with running around like a lunatic as soon as he reaches the beach, and of course that means this is an important sequel to the ultimate Cops Are Us trilogy we get in Survivor, with having Tony voted out super early and Sarah eventually winning the season. There are other huge realizations here as well, like JT not knowing how to play Survivor, Sandra having her most dominating performance, knowing that Ozzy doesn't have much left to offer to Survivor, and Cochran just showing up. I said before, we have some of the saddest moments with Malcolm and Cirie going home due to twists in the game, and because they are fan favorites, we get mad about the twists. But I think there are such amazing moments that I think if the twist didn't affect players with such a cult following, then they would be remembered so differently and actually enjoyed for the crazy moments.
Cirie, it doesn't matter what votes are in the urn, because the only person who can receive votes is you.
This season really needs more love, and I think if a few things happen a little differently, then we have one of the best seasons of all time. Most of these players make sense for a returning player season, but the issue is that it's a bold claim to call all of them game changers. Sarah has one of the best social and strategic games of all time, and it gets highlighted with Cirie giving her the legacy advantage. However, the issue is, just like in this video, I barely touched on Sarah here because there isn't too much to show. Giving Sarah a better edit and changing the title of the season to Survivor Legends vs. Losers completely fixes the initial complaints people have with game changers.
The winner of Survivor Game Changers, Sarah.
Starting out the Survivor Retrospective YouTube series, I saw Survivor Game Changers as just a funny meme, and if you look back at my old videos and pay attention, you will realize I like to steadily bring up Game Changers as much as I can. But after really diving into it, I saw myself thinking about how I fell in love with Survivor in the first place, and it was the crazy moments. This season is filled with so many crazy TV moments that just make you jump up and down. You really need to remember Survivor is a TV show first and can't be viewed the same way we look at professional sports. Maybe I still do consider it as a meme meme, like, was Troyzan even on this cast? But there are so many moments to love and so many characters to appreciate that I felt like I needed to give the 34th season of Survivor a little extra love. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I dare you guys to all comment down below how you rank Survivor Game Changers. I bet a lot of you rank it a little differently than me. And of course, subscribe to the channel with the bell turned on so you don't miss any of my other videos. My final rating for Survivor Game Changers is a 9.0 out of 10. S tier.